I want to make a quick video here on my Greg's Garage channel. I've posted a few videos over the last handful of years, but nothing to write home about in terms of why I started my YouTube channel. And there's a lot of guys out there that I do miss talking to. Sometimes I leave comments on their videos and some of them have disappeared from YouTube altogether. But the old YouTube Garage Gang, man, I miss talking to a lot of you guys. I miss working on the cars and having them on my YouTube channel. I moved out to Colorado about 5 years ago, and since then haven't had any project cars to work on. I'm here in a two-car garage and don't have a ton of room for projects. This is where my wife generally parks, and the Karmann Ghia usually parks up there. And this thing twists, the lift twists sideways in the back. But I got the Ghia down about 4 weeks ago. I didn't pull it down during COVID. I didn't have too many places to drive, was working from home, and quite honestly was going through some stuff, as I think a lot of people did worldwide. It hit pretty hard. I manage an office out here with a little over a dozen people, and felt a lot of responsibility for those people and a lot of pressure to keep everybody working and employed and our business growing out here. And it was just, I'm just gonna be honest, as guys, we don't talk a lot about it, but it was really, really a tough time. And it just, like, everything just didn't make sense, I guess. And now we're back to normal, I guess. And for my birthday this year, on my birthday, September 4, I told myself I was going to get the car out, and that requires moving the Tormach and my laser and a whole bunch, basically every major tool that I have in half of the garage has to go outside. And then it takes about 3 hours to get the car down and the lift rotated with just one person, because the car is on the lift when you move it. Pretty heavy, and I'm getting old. I'm not as strong as I used to be. But anyway, the car got down, and of course I drove it, and I remembered, oh yeah, I've never jetted this thing for Colorado for the elevation. I live at about 6,500 feet, and started going. I drove it for about 2 weeks, didn't really do much, a little bit of a tune-up, and then I ordered some jets for it and talked to the guys out at Caddyshack, and they sent some jets out for me. And they got here, and it just created one headache after another. No fault of theirs, all on my end. It just created a whole different situation in the carburation for the engine. And it took me a while to sort out what I needed to do to get it back to running. And what I wound up doing was putting the old jets back in and then stepping up to the size of the jets they sent me. So each step you retune, till you finally land at a spot where there's just a little bit of retuning to do, not an entire, I don't know what you want to call it, start over, do over. And the carburetors and the throttle body, the Venturis and the throttle body inside of the carburetors in this car are way too big. They're for like a 2200, something like that. And this is a 1915, so 1.9 liter. And so there's a little bit of weirdness there too, but I can tell you after messing with them, your car's been kind of undrivable for the last 3 weeks or so, and messing with them an hour or two at a time, just trying to get everything going, then take the car out for a test drive and realize the jets are too small, it's bogging down, it's doing this, it's doing that, trying to get the timing right, just all of the things. Today, finally got it out. And it was like, oh man, it's my old car, it's back. And it was so good. It was so good. I don't know how to describe it. Anybody who owns a Volkswagen knows when you tune them up, when you adjust the valves, when you tune the carburetor, when you do all the things, the timing's set just right, the condenser and the points are right, like everything's right. They're so sweet. The cars are so sweet, but when they're not sweet, they're just a handful. And it went from being a handful to just being absolutely sweet this afternoon. So I'm super excited. And in the meantime, while I was working on all the carb stuff, I pulled off the fan shroud because it was making all kinds of racket back inside of the fan shroud. And come to find out, A lot of the screws had been stripped out. You know, they're 50 years old now, a lot of the hardware. And so some of the weld nuts were stripped out and that sort of thing. So I drilled out all the weld nuts on my main fan shroud and replaced it with riv nuts. And when I put it back together, it was great for, I don't know, 30 minutes of running. And then all of a sudden there was this terrible racket. And it was like, oh God, what have I done now? Well, I decided to get the carburetors right and then tear back into the fan shroud. Turns out the squirrel cage on the back of the alternator had a couple of the bolts, the two studs that hold everything together had kind of come loose. So took that all apart, tightened everything up, and now it's just like, it's sweet. So anyway, I just wanted to hop on, say I miss everybody. I still watch Musty One's videos. Oh my gosh, those are some of my favorite. Musty One has got just such a wonderful channel now. Darren's been posting videos. VW Darren has been posting videos again. That's been awesome to see. Tommy Shu has been on there, and Tommy actually asked me, do I make videos anymore? And I do. I've posted quite a few videos over on my Skyscraper Guitars channel, and I'm building a couple acoustic guitars on there now. I've built a handful of electric guitars and talked about how to fix and repair guitars, but that's where my effort has been. My wife and I have a very small manufacturing company now that makes tools for guitar builders and repair people, and that's where I've been spending my YouTube energy. And just wanted to hop back on here. I'm still looking for a project car. If anybody knows a single cab or a double cab out there that really needs a lot of attention, I'm looking for a challenge. I'm not looking for something to fix up and sell. I'm looking for something to make my own and make a driver. If I could run this in cold weather and it didn't have a convertible top, because it gets the ultraviolet here is ridiculous in Colorado. So the summers are kind of hard to drive a drop top, and the winters are just too cold and icy. But anyway, I am looking for a single cab or a double cab, probably a split window that I can restore and drive. I'll make it my driver. I'm not going to sell it. So if anybody has one that's kind of sitting in reserve back there that maybe you're not going to get to before you die, that's a project I want. The other one is a 356. Don't care the year on the 356, and it can be a complete total basket case. I just love those cars and really want to restore them. And the plan is to put videos here on YouTube if I do get another project. So if I do get a project, this guy is going to have to go into storage. The project will be upstairs and Andrea will park downstairs, because that's the arrangement that we have, the understanding that she does get to park inside because it is so cold and crappy here in Colorado during the winters. During the summers, she said she'd volunteer to park outside. So anyway, that's how things are going here. It's been about 9 minutes. I'll put some video in here about the riv nuts, and then I think maybe later this week I'll just grab my camera and we'll just go for a drive in the Ghia and have some fun, and hopefully everybody enjoys that. And I really do miss everybody out there. I still enjoy seeing all your videos. That's it for now. Take care, guys.